Today is August 23rd, 2026. You think it would stop. It got better last night on the way to work. There wasn't as many people. Well, when you find out this whole thing is Agent John, the agent that returned my phone call, that told on me to Apostolic Church of Barberton before he talked to me for calling the hotline. Told him he didn't care as being drugged, beaten, raped because some idiot called me a faker 15 years before. And it was fraud, medical malpractice, almost killed me. And it took me almost a year to get well. Took me over 9 months. And it was a 15-year-old baby lie made up by a cult leader. Like they said, it actually is the strangest lie. And on a recorded line admitted the next day that he had all those church people in his office, knew they were trying to kill me, didn't even blame them for trying to kill me. Because some idiot called me a faker 15 years before. It was fraud, medical malpractice, medication errors. Almost killed me. Took me 9 months to get well. Okay? Made fun of me for some guy named Pete stalking me. How I didn't know. And then some doctor I've never heard of mocking me. Sounds crazy on the phone. Yeah, when you find out who Pete is, the dirty doctor, it's his girlfriend's dad. That's where January 1926, Henry Moffey came into Bob Evans and Fairlawn. The first month of the case, I had an Instagram account. I got an instant message. I think you're beautiful. It's like, thanks. Something about love on the beach, something else. I don't know him from Adam. Go out to stores. People are talking that they're drug traders, human traffickers from Florida, and they work for Judge Peters and relocating people to a resort area. It was Disney when they arrested him. And 100 men. Okay. They were here in 18 bragging. They talked about a Henry Moffey. I thought that's weird. That's that name that texted me thought I was beautiful. And I hadn't heard the people around me talk about him. Don't know him from Adam for a while. Thought the police got him or he fled. And here he's listening to me and Carl on the way up there that these people need to embrace that I'm an FBI informant. I am in immunity for life. They can kiss the Stark County judge's ass. The FBI's ass and my government immunity, government protected informant ass. I'm tired of them. They're yelling threats at me for their scam. They embrace they can't touch me. Well, pissed him off bad enough. I wonder if he thought he was going to scare me. A little scrawny drug dealer is not going to scare me. No. I've been almost murdered. I've been tortured. A little scrawny drug dealer does not scare me. Comes in how he was the one that got a hold of me online. With those messages, he proved I was cheating. That's not cheating. I don't know you. You're a weirdo. And then he tells all men I'm not good enough for another man, and he's glad he never met me in person. See, when you find out that he's a dirty doctor from before. He's that guy Pete Dave hired on his own. And Agent John mocking me. Where the cops showed up the next day, we told you she didn't know what's going on. That guy admitted he never met her in person. We admitted a lot more. How the officers for the case, he said they only watched me because they felt sorry for me. Her dancing around in the car like a little kid with her new husband. They like me. And there's a court order, so shut up. And he was saying how he was the one that incited my new husband's family to threaten his life. They told his son that he'd steal everything for him, and Found out he was down there vandalizing stuff on the farm. Almost stay out of it. He steal everything for him. Can't steal from the elderly. It's illegal. You can't have him threaten his life. That's illegal. And how the other Michelle is telling on him for what they're actually doing. And then how he's got a judge's friend that's going to enter all his courts and tapes without the FBI there. Turn all the cases money over to them and pull a fast one on them so that they steal all the cases money for itself and be long gone. If I were my dead body, I wrote the president. I'm not dealing with that jackass and that fool. Okay? That's why they showed up the next day laughing. We told you she didn't know what's going on. He admitted he'd never met her in person. There's a whole lot more. So, when you find out he is Agent John's girlfriend's dad, that's trying to pull a fast one on the FBI. Steal the case's money for herself. Where even June 26, in front of the Stark County Sheriff's in Dutch Valley Restaurant, Agent John's girlfriend came in. Cackling. She couldn't see me and Carl for a half wall. It's my family doing all this. They're stealing everything for me. The drug dealers we hired to do this to her taped her in the bathroom, washing herself in the shower, and photoshopped that in the other room to make her look weird with herself. They were making fun of her. Ha 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 ha. The drug dealers we hired picked her out personally to do this to her, to steal everything from me. He has to pay to do that. When you find out it's Katie's family member from Lighthouse, Dave's old church. That's why those church people helped out, thinking they were stealing for Katie's family. Okay. Now, there's drug dealers. Officer Mark announced August 22nd, 23rd, between noon and 1, I'd say. Cole's parking lot that is documented verified as rained before, and it was a drug cartel in my home before. It's documented verified another woman was using my insurance, and it was medication errors that made me sick before. Okay? None of this is funny. It's a drug cartel at my home before. Like Agent John's girlfriend said, it was drug dealers. Today, Walmart 62 was a hotbed. People walking by, some guy seen her today, she's so fat, can't try to sell her, she's so fat, and kiss my fat ass. Okay? Other people talking, the police told them not to say anything. Those 3 men have been running a scam on everybody. It's Agent John, it's the girlfriend's dad. The Henry Maffei Pete guy, fake dirty doctor. Dave's girlfriend's dad is that Will guy. That's a fake attorney. They checked his credentials May 9th, 26, and admitted that his credentials are not real, that it's just Dave's girlfriend's dad is that bad with fake credentials, scamming everyone. So it's Dave's girlfriend's dad, it's Agent John's girlfriend's dad, and Agent John, and a big drug dealer. The guy impersonating a Christian group, the one that showed up August 14th, 26. Bob Evans and Alliance, how he's been the one doing all this to me. He's been running it since the beginning. How Agent John just opened a case just to steal all the money from it and turn me over to him. And he's been having everything done to me. I remember him in 18 showing up at Walmart 62 in front of the police and the feds and announcing he was in charge and telling those drug dealers he was in charge. The guy on North Chapel, where I used to live, in that apartment building in Louisville, he told my neighbors, Amy and Harry, March 30th, 25, in the afternoon, that he was in the office when they met with the agent. He was too. He works for that guy. And that his religious group, he's not a religious group, they're drug dealers impersonating one. They're a drug cartel. I wonder if he's a drug lord they're all afraid of. I wonder if he's Harry. Be interesting if he was. Because it's coming down to the basic simples of who did this. Is it Agent John, his girlfriend's dad, Dave's girlfriend's dad, and a big drug dealer. Ran a big con on everybody. Where that guy said Agent John opened the case to steal the money for himself. Said I could do whatever I wanted to her. He didn't care. We're talking about with that short white guy with bald with black strands going down the middle of his head, little suit on. He's a short little brunt guy. Suit's too big. I think he's the one paying for everything. And the big drug dealer's he was big as a lumberjack. He had muscles when the case started. He looks like he's on steroids now. Huge muscles. Lightish brown hair. And beard sent with him. And how he's ran it from the beginning and da-da-da-da-da. And they were talking about selling and killing people and the drug dealers they hired to bring here. Tried to lie to that guy that the attorney's office, they allow break in people's home. The police do. No, they don't. And they let them break in and do things to them. No, they don't. I kept thinking, Carl, get out of the bathroom. Carl, get out of the bathroom. Kept going looking, and every time I went to walk up and look, see where Carl's at, I thought, dear God, there's serial killers in here. Get out of that freaking bathroom. So when he sat down, I looked at him, and I went off how dumb these people from the First Amendment, freedom of speech. If you look at it, no one can tell you can't say anything but a judge in a jury trial. No judge could sign it, because what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they say anything, they won't get their money? It's blackmail, extortion out of government funds, a crime against the U.S. government, tampering with a witness, obstruction justice, 20 to life. Same for a judge. They can't sign it. The only time they can even put a gag order in you because of the freedom of speech is during a jury trial only. No man, like they said in Akron in 23, no man can tell you can't say anything but a judge in a jury trial while the proceedings are going on. Fourth Amendment, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements with a court order, and have to agree to protect someone in that home and have statements of threat of life from everyone in that home, or even the FBI to go to jail. They have to have a court order. Right of privacy. 14th Amendment, you have the right that no one can withhold protection from any U.S. citizen. Okay? So what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they tries to silence him so that they won't have protection? It is attempt to murder, aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction, justice, tampering with witnesses, 20 to 30 years, and 20 to 30 years for a judge if they had signed. No one can do this. And what would be the jail sentence for the police if they allowed attorneys to go break in people's homes, set up button cameras? Like about 20 years. Yeah, the drugs, beat, and rape, it's life imprisonment. They do not allow anybody to break into anybody's home. Well, those guys left. Okay. Today in Walmart 62. Told you those girls were calling me fat walking in. Then they were calling me fat in different places. Other people were walking by. The police said not to say anything to her. Those 3 men have been scamming everyone. Yeah. Okay. And then some guy saying something stupid about, well, they can't sell her because she's so heavy. The guy said, who would care if she's heavy? She's pretty to look at. Then Mom, waiting for Carl to go to the bathroom, standing outside the bathroom, saw an idiot lady over by the register. Do you realize how retarded you sound? How retarded you sound. I know the drug dealers back in 18 admitted they used hypnotic drugs on her and drugged her and told her to say it before. I don't believe it. I told John I'd steal all the money for him. You're such a liar. Fucking liar. You know, and she's like, and I looked up hypnotic drugs. It does cause sleepwalking with amnesia. But I don't think they can drug you up until you say stuff. You liar. Well, who did Agent John's girlfriend say it was? It's her family. So that's her family doing this. Lying to people to steal for her. She's the one on September 30th, 25, admitted at 1 o'clock in the morning she was laughing in front of a bunch of drug dealers. They had a biker bring her down and yell at her. And she confessed to everything, that this whole thing is her family's debt to drug dealers, that I don't know who she is. That, her family even human trafficked people to pay back those drug dealers. And it's her wanting Carl's farm for herself because she wants it and she likes it. And it's her family doing this. And they're stealing for her. And she knew that the original cartel photoshopped everything. And she knew it was medical malpractice, fraud, and medication errors that made me sick before. And Dave knew it. And they encouraged us to sue those doctors for years. So don't want to hear it. So who was that lady in there today? Part of Agent John's girlfriend's family. Lying to people. Lying to people. But you know what she did say? I know the original drug dealers that did this admitted they used hypnotic drugs and drugged her and told her to say it before. I looked it up. It does cause sleepwalking and amnesia. But I don't believe that they can make you drugged up and told you to say stuff. And then try to lie on my son John. My son John is not part of this. They tried to frame Danny and Jen also for the shower scene in the other room. They wouldn't have anything to do with it. They don't know anything, and they lied and lied and lied on them. Just like they lied on John. John, on Thanksgiving of 18, when I asked him what was going on, he didn't know that his ex-wife, Melissa, was going to have the kids make up everything because of the divorce, and that I was going to move out, and she'd have her church people make up something, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. And the next year, after he was already divorced. Okay, the next year, Melissa pulled a bitch move with him, snuck in his house. She had already dropped off the kids. They've been divorced over a year. Okay, he's in the bathroom. He comes out. He doesn't even know she's in the house. She screams and lunges at him. Being startled, he shoved her. Now I got you. Had him arrested domestic violence. That's not domestic violence. That's breaking and entering. Lost his kids for a year. He went to jail. Tried to get his kids back a year later, and he called me up. He's like, Mom, I would like you to be a reliable name to babysit the kids after school. I said, John, I work 2 jobs. I don't get off the first one, let alone the second one. I said, I barely make it now, but Mom, these are my kids. I'll lose them forever. And he's pleading. You could feel his heart break over his voice cracking. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I can't help you. I don't get off the first job, let alone the second. I am so sorry. I barely make it now. I'll lose my apartment. And we go back and forth, and he's pleading with me. If you're not a reliable name to pick up the kids after school and babysit for them, I'll lose my kids forever, Mom. Please help me. I'm so sorry. I can't help you. asked me to be a reliable name on a court record. Like 21. I couldn't help him. He lost his kids, moved to Florida years ago. But I met this new woman, married her. They started a church, had a baby, and looks happier than ever. June 3rd, 23. Now, John, when he was here, was a big electrician. He was a rep for the union, had like 3 offices. So he has thousands of contacts. Electricians pulled in, looked at me, looked at each other, and that John's mom. He said that she's never hurt anyone, and it's just these people. And because of these people, he may never see his mom again. I know, and that's his mom. And he said that she's never hurt anyone. It's just these people. July 26, 25. 8 to 10 in the morning, an investigator from 18 came in. A couple had got smart with me. Bob Evans, I went off. Go over there, he follows us. He said, I told that couple never to say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. Okay. June 7th, 25, in the morning, investigators outside, they had went to my children's pediatrician from 1984 to 2002. He's still open, Dr. Haben, and he told them that there was never any sign of any abuse. They were very well taken care of, and no neglect, let me get this right. No neglect, no abuse, and very well taken care of. MD, medical proof of no abuse, no neglect, and well taken care of. MD proof. From a doctor seeing him 3 or 4 times a year. 18 years. Yearly checkup, then colds, flus. Back then, pneumonia and bronchitis went around everywhere. You got chicken pox, we're still going around. A bunch of other stuff. But even their pediatrician actually seen them. MD proof. See, that's where these people, it's that crazy occult. That occult, they only believe the world is 6,000 years old. The world didn't start till the Bible did. Okay? If you believe anything else, you're blaspheming God. There was no dinosaurs, no prehistoric age. The museums with the bones and stuff are fake. Scientists are trying to fool you, trying to take away from God. The world is only 6,000 years old. They believe it too. They also have this belief. If you don't like someone and you lie on them, you can get one of your friends to side with you. And now it became the truth. If you get 2, it became law. That's why they thought they could have drug dealers drug me up and tell me to say stuff. And have somebody verify it. And it'd become law. Because of that religion. That's not how it works. See, the real law, even the cartel said, I can't believe how dumb these people are. And actually, Dom trying this. It was what, April 28th, April 30th, something like that, out in Walmart and Alliance. You can't just basically roofie someone, tell them to say something horrible, and then have someone verify it. You can't just have me games of pretending nobody got hurt. You actually have to, see, that's where you have to be seen for an injury. You have to be treated. There has to be a police investigation. There has to be physical evidence and prosecution, or you have nothing. They have a roofie and a mean jokes that were made up during the FBI case. Now, we're going to talk about this. I even went I talked to a social worker. Carl gets counseling from being terrorized by them having his son terrorize him, to threaten his life. He beat a horse, poisoned a cat, trying to frame Carl. Carl wasn't even down there. Break in our home, tamper with our food, steal stuff from our house, and leave threatening voicemails and threatening messages, terrorizing us. And that when he finds Carl, he'll kill him. Turned his own son against him. He's in counseling now. Now I want you to think about this. Even a social worker told Carl at the VA. I told her, I said, I'm an FBI informant. I told her a little bit about the case, how I was drugged, and told her to say stuff with hypnotic drugs. They use them on me. And their stocking tapes are supposed to Photoshop washing in the shower and stocking tapes. And I never seen anybody. I thought it was the well water was orange, and I thought it was toxic. And I never seen her talk to anybody. Never had anybody in my home. I had family repair guys, installation guys, 2 silly officers. We only had 3 cameras out on the outside of the house. We had nothing inside. Front porch, back porch, side yard. And midnight in August of 18, I called 911 because there was a light in the outside security light, and it said, they said it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog, and let a dog hill. They didn't want bothered. I never even had my neighbors in my home. And who would have looked for a drug dealer hiding in your home? These people admitted it when I walked by. They stabbed me with hypnotic drugs, where I would be looking for a beat, and then they lean back. Who would look for a drug dealer in your home? I was looking for a beat or was. Sit down and take a drink in the room and go dizzy and black. Thought the dirty well water or showering him was killing me. And here they, and I'd have bruises all over me, throwing up. I said I thought I had cancer. Severe personal infection here and being drugged, beaten, raped in my own home. And no memory of it. I'm going to the doctor. What on earth is wrong with me? And I said they're supposed to drug me up and told me to say horrible stuff. And I said they're so dumb. They thought they could just have someone verify it. She's like, it doesn't work that way. I said somebody would have been seen for an injury, treated, police investigation. They would have been called, and physical evidence and prosecution. She said, exactly. I said they thought they could just roofie me, tell me, say something, have somebody verify it, and then they could get me in trouble. She's like, it don't work that way. See, it's that crazy religion. See, Judge Peter's group, they're a funny, kind of odd, funny criminals. They are loud, proud criminals. We're drug traders and human traffickers from Florida. We work for Judge Peters, and we're relocating people to Florida to a resort area. Okay. What's Disney? Okay. But if you make them mad, they will sing like a canaries in front of the police and feds. And they will rat you out. And they have no problem doing it. From that Michelle that was dating an agent March 27th, 25, broke up with her when she told him that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. And when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. It didn't work. He got it out of Dave that another girlfriend from before me made him marry me to get a job at my dad's factory so she'd have free insurance. She used the other lady using my insurance was one of Dave's girlfriend. And he got it out of that family that was telling everybody I offended him, that Strange called me a faker, that they were all lying to the FBI. That it didn't even concern him. Lisa's father killed her kid. She wasn't even there. They were just lying to help them get away with it because they thought they were helping Katie's family. Okay, that's where they threatened to kill that Michelle, and she went badass. I'm so proud of her. Going badass on them, her and her friends. Every time they found out something, they go to the police or investigators. That's how you stop people like this. Thinking they can kill and destroy and rob anybody. I don't even know her. I've only seen her, Carl's seen her. And I've never even met her. I've just had people talk about her, and then I've seen her. And that people, then I told you they were threatening that girl's life, and she went badass. Absolutely badass on them. Let's see. But Judge Peters' group told on Dave and Melissa and 18. They didn't like him, and they made sure people knew they didn't like him. They didn't think it was funny. It's something. Here they are, human traffickers, and they're repeatedly hurting me. Okay? For Dave and Melissa to get everything, it gets redundant after a while. It really does. Just repeatedly hurting someone. You don't think it was just by chance they showed up at Walmart 62 before Thanksgiving of 18 that Melissa was willing to help them get away with this. She was going to have the kids lie. No, I told them to say, so the police would follow her and find out what was, and then tape them on Thanksgiving of 18, saying they wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa. And then later on the floor, they were making everything up. They were games of pretend sex shit. And then the cops admitting that they got them, saying it. They're documenting games of pretend. And how stupid Melissa was trying this with it. Okay? All right. Because Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid, she didn't check where you were. Okay, and they're documenting games of pretend. Okay. Then, before 12/21/18, it was evening. I could feel the drug dealers coming up behind me. I can feel them. When they're around. At times, my body just tenses up. And they came up behind me and beside me. And they were raving about my ex-husband, that fucking bastard, that arrogant asshole. Who does he think he is? Dave wants us to take her out and kill her. Be done with it. I don't care what he thinks. Would he like us to do this to him? We get paid to do it to her. I know. But still, why waste a good woman when we could sell her and make money off of it? Who does he think he is talking to us like that? Dave and Melissa had this plan for months before they did it, to ensure they both got everything during the divorce. Dave and Melissa decided that she would be the more appropriate parent for the kids. In this way, it would ensure that she got the kids in custody of the kids when she went for it. See, she was planning on doing a bitch move on John. It was all planned out. They had this planned out for months before they did it and how they were going to do everything. They used Z drugs on her. When they drugged her and told her to say it before in the house and Dave was involved. Z drugs erase your memory as it happening. It causes sleepwalking and amnesia. The dangers of using them. They've had them since 1830. It's not like they're new. She has no memory of those people or anything that they did to her before. Too bad we don't have a drug to erase her memory of what we're doing to her now. And this was set up to ensure that she couldn't help John when Melissa went for full custody of the kids. Dave and her had this planned out for months before they did it. They told Louisville 19, acted like they were a couple. I used to make comments when I was on, did John know that his wife was cheating with his dad? That's disgusting. Like other people said, this whole thing's a bitch move. Roofiing somebody and tell them to say something horrible. Photoshop washing in the shower and mean games of pretend. The whole thing is a bitch move. But is that religion? Of thinking that they could just drug me up, tell me to say something, have somebody verify it, and make it law. It's not. Oh, and that lady today, I know the original drug dealers in 18 admitted they used hypnotic drugs. These drugs are hypnotic drugs. When they drugged her and told her to say it before, I looked it up. It does cause sleepwalking and amnesia, but I don't believe it. And then act like she was talking to Officer Mark. I extremely doubt you talked to him. If he talked to you and he was nice, he's playing you. Because otherwise he would have screamed at you. He would have screamed at you. He has no problem telling people to learn to mind their own business or leave his little informant alone or arrest your dumb ass. He's either playing you or you're flat out lying. Because otherwise he would not be nice to you. And neither would Officer John. Told you Walmart 62 today was a hotbed. Don't you people get, them walking around. I was, years ago, when they induced vomiting until the point I lost 70 pounds, and I was skin and bones. Literally, size 3, 5. My clothes are too big. I could actually fit into a little kid size 14. Skin and bones. And they were still calling me fat. Like they said, they didn't even want to have enough energy to work. It's the drug cartel killing, destroying, and robbing people. And trying to now extort money from the government. And Agent John being involved in the middle of that, thinking that he can rob from a case and give to his girlfriend. And I bet that big guy that's impersonating the religious group, I bet that's a drug dealer. She's in that too. I bet it's as simple as that. Because when you find out that it's Agent John, his girlfriend's dad, Henry Moffey / Pete / Dirty Doctor impersonator, Dave's girlfriend's dad, supposed to be that Will guy / impersonating an attorney. And that big guy impersonating a religious group, saying he's the one that did it since the beginning. And he's talking about selling and killing people. I bet you're the drug dealer they were in debt to. But it's as simple as that. And they're all trying to rob the government. They're trying to get the case thrown out. That's where I told you. I talked to Walter, my one friend from the prosecutor's office. It's a big fraud scheme what they did to you, Karen. They did the biggest mistake they did in your home. It's the Fourth Amendment. Nothing they have is admissible. Just like the Maslin police. Nothing they have is admissible. Okay. Other investigator, they wasted their time. Nothing they have is admissible. They're a big old fraud scheme. These people are so dumb they don't know one law. It's crazy to call people and drug dealers. But the whole thing of it is that they're trying to get the case thrown out for that agent defrauded me because he told on me. Like they said, it's documented, verified. The agent that returned her phone call from the FBI hotline is the one that told on her to that church before he talked to her. That was November 22 on a Sunday. Trinity Gospel. I want you to think about that. Every time they come up and say it's documented and verified, it's documented and verified she's framed before, and it was a drug cartel in her home before. It's documented and verified they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. It's documented and verified it's a shower scene in the other room and it's photoshopped. It's documented and verified that Melissa's documented mean games of pretend. It's documented and verified I was found innocent of everything. It's documented and verified my children didn't know anything about this and they weren't part of it. They all defended me. You want to keep going. It'll also be documented and verified all the rest that they got off here and all the people they saved. My one neighbor met with the U.S. Marshals in Canton, met one of the men, they saved his life. They saved hundreds off this case. Thousands went to jail. And they're trying to get it thrown out from defrauding me. Like Walter said, unless they pay you, Karen, they have no legal right around you. You're either a paid informant for them to surveillance you. They have to pay you. They have to stand up for that case. And where I lived through such horrible horror, they would need a willing statement that I was willing to live through all that. That I was willing to stay up there under my own will of, while they surveillanced me to get the people threatening my life and others, knowing I was risking my life, personal injury, possible death, but still willing to stay up there while they got surveillance on me, knowing the FBI, the agency alone, would be paying me and compensating me for any injuries, knowing my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, that other agent was only bullying me. Something like that, simple and notarized, will take it from me being defrauded to a willing worker and they pay and compensate me at sale. Like Walter said, if they don't pay you, they don't stand up for that case. Those drug dealers they arrested will walk and they can sue for tens of millions of dollars, and that's what they're after. The big $30 billion heist from the government. The only thing that'll stop it is them paying me and me signing something like that, and then it seals it. Then, of course, they need to deal with Agent John themselves, and that Will guy, and Henry Maffey Pete guy, and the other ones, where they hired me to be an informant to find out who was threatening my life and harming me. Unfortunately, one of their agents was involved, running a con on me with his dad, his girlfriend's dad, and my ex-husband's girlfriend's dad, and a drug dealer. And then the Florida drug cartel, Judge Peters group. And the damning evidence is a recorded line. When I tell him someone told on me before, he calls me a liar. He makes fun of me for having those church people in his office that he knew they were trying to kill me because a stranger's liar called me a faker from 15 years before, and he didn't blame him for trying to kill me, mocking me. They already knew, and they were in his office. Then he said, we could always use Pete's tape, but weird with yourself. I thought, why are you lying on my brother? I haven't seen him in years. Only talked to him on the phone. Said something else. I thought, well, he has to have somebody else's file. I said, I don't know who or what you're talking about. And then he said something about a doctor for sexual disorders or one of your brother. I had to hold my breath. I wanted to yell at him, why don't you stop lying? And I'm trying to make sense, and he's saying crazy crap. And I'm like, think about this. He sounds like a nutbag. And he's laughing. Then I stops. You don't know. He knew I didn't know. And I thought, well, some other lady used my insurance. Maybe it was one of hers. Trying to make sense out of insanity. And here it's just a big con from his girlfriend's dad. He knew he wasn't my doctor. And he knew. He drugged me and told me to say it before with hypnotic drugs. You know, August 4th, 25, they brought up the hypnotic drugs again. They drugged her with hypnotic drugs and drugged her and told her to say it before. She has no memory of those people and what they did to her before, and that's why she had a metal taste in her mouth. August 5th, 25, as if Agent John didn't know they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, being raped. Before the case started, and Dick Carey let him torture her. Is he some kind of coward? Then August 7th, 25, Walmart 62 investigators, how they have them take Xana. I want you to think about that. He knew I didn't know. Why? Because that's his girlfriend's dad. Both Pete and the dirty doctor, he's playing both sides, both parts. And it's Henry Moffey, the guy that admitted he never met me in person. See, that's where, after January 1926, when he admitted he never met me in person, the cops showed up the next day laughing. I told you she didn't know what's going on. He admitted he never met her in person. Well, people showed up after that. Nobody saying a word. That guy that admitted he never met her in person is that guy Pete. He's supposed to be the doctor from before, and he's never met her. Got it? Yeah. He knew I didn't know him. He knew this whole thing. I was drugged and told to say it before. He knew there was photoshopped a washing in the shower. He knew everything. And he knew that guy wasn't an attorney. Now I want you to think of the arrogance of September 10th, 25, going down to the Tuscarawas County Courthouse trying to get a case thrown out with a guy with fake attorney credentials. Agent John showing up there with him. How not funny Agent John is. Stealing from the government. Someone needs to stop him. He's not funny. Like I said, unfortunately, one of their agents is involved in stealing from the government and was part of running the scam on me. His girlfriend's dad. When that Will guy is a fake attorney. That Henry Moffey Pete guy, fake dirty doctor, is Agent John's girlfriend's dad. The girlfriend he has to pay to date, which is Katie's family member from that church, I found out. My ex-husband, my ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa, and then a few other church people. That big drug dealer. That's probably the drug dealer they were in debt to, that he turned me over to pay off their drug debt. You talk about a bad soap opera. And the FBI, you pay me, compensate me, I'll sign that letter and it'll seal your case. Thousands of lives are at risk. The FBI saved 6,000 children last year. Those drug dealers will know where they live. I know family members that lost people to the cartel and they never got them back and even laughed in their face how they murdered them. These are evil people that need to stay in jail. And these people, like they said, are nothing but an extortion group. They're robbing people and running cons on them. They need to be stopped. The guy in North Chapel where I used to live, in my old apartment, he's part of it too. And I'm sure you know the rest. And why didn't you catch Agent John before this? I cannot be a Grant's friend that's an FBI agent out of state. He's had to steal before. He's probably been stealing cases, the cards, debit cards from people for a long time, and he got caught this time stealing from the case. But the only way you can steal from an FBI case is the agent took a bank card and simply put it in his pocket. That's the only way you can steal from it. Because a person's in immunity and the government's money is money in it. And for people in immunity, you can't sue them, you can't attach it, you can't do anything. So the only thing you can do is the agent that opened the account, puts the bank card in his pocket, and walks out. He's probably been stealing bank cards for a while. Why didn't you catch him before this? But think of the arrogance arrogance of that man, taking a fake attorney down to the Tuscarawas County Courthouse and scamming them that there was no one around me and I was in a Zia cartel. Like they said, her case led into the drug cartel. And they got surveillance on Judge Peters' group from Florida, the Kingsmen from Texas, California, Michigan, Buffalo, New York, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Kentucky, Maryland, and there was a guy from Virginia. Drug dealers, we are part of the nationwide human trafficking scam, where the cartels played the evil game of paying for harassment. And they took turns and they harassing me. And they got surveillance on all of them. Followed them back and found people and did a big arrest. I had to be their golden child. I've been raped. I've been tortured. My skull bashed in. I've been beaten my stomach till I have large pouching in my intestines. They almost ruptured them. They induced vomiting until my stomach shifted up under my ribs. I have a damaged rib cage, damaged shoulder. I was raped. I was tortured. I went on bladder spasm medicine for 2 years. Then publicly humiliated as they sold the lock-in and sold it for people's entertainment. Well, they sold and killed people around here. And offered people tens of millions of dollars to help harass me, and they never got a dime. But the thought of fool's gold. It's called the Nigerian 419, offering people tens of millions of dollars to extort money from the government if they'd help out. And all these fools help drug dealers kill and sell people here. And they made fools out of them. It's sad, awful. I'm going to upload this.